Hey everyone, Ben back from Living Survival, and today we're going to take a look at another shelter from Nortent. I've reviewed their teepee, I've reviewed their kind of dome tent, and this is a 3-in-1 tarp, so it can be set up a few different ways, which makes it really multi-purpose, which makes it awesome. It reminds me a lot of my winter dream tarp that I use for my hammock with the doors. This one's got one step further, and that being a stove jack. So let me bring you in closer, we'll walk around, I'll show you some of the features. So the Nortent Bivuakk can be set up in multiple different positions, which is what makes it so cool. It can be set up how I have it now, which is in shelter mode. It's essentially a tarp with doors on the side. It does have a stove jack, so that's nice. You could get this nice and warm on the inside. How I have it now is I have a ridge line running through the center, and then I have it staked out. There is multiple stake out points on both doors and on both sides, as well as additional guy lines. So you could actually use those guy lines on the corners as well to put this like in porch mode. You can also use trekking poles, which is how I had it set up a few months ago. You can put those on either end. So you could really just essentially take this and your trekking poles and you'd have a nice shelter. The second way it can be set up is, of course, as a tarp. So you could use this for a hammock. You could use it for a tarp. You could hang it in the trees and, guy out at any one of the tie out points and create yourself practically any tarp shelter that you wanted. Of course, again, this is kind of in its shelter mode with the doors, but you could open the doors, you could flip one flap out into porch mode, and then they also make an inner for it. So if you wanted to turn it into a tent, they make an inner that you can get that basically has a bathtub floor and a mesh netting to keep the bugs out. This shelter's pretty light. It comes in at 2.2 pounds. It does include the stakes and these reflective guy lines, which is nice, and it's made out of 20D ripstop sill nylon, so a high quality but lightweight material. There are two seams on the tarp, one coming down this way and one going across the ridge line. So on sill nylon you can't use seam tape, but they do include the seam seal that you could do that. I'm waiting for the temperatures to warm up just a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and seal off those two seams. Included is a bunch of these Y stakes, so you can not only secure down the corners and the middles, but you also have enough stakes for the guy lines as well. In shelter mode with the doors on the side, these have Velcro starting from the top and in several spots all the way down, so you can just un-Velcro these. They do have loops, so you can tie these back. That gives you access to your shelter, keeps the wind out, and of course if you were running a stove, it'd keep it nice and warm in there as well. Anywhere where there's webbing, it is nicely reinforced, and on the ridge line here, there's actually heavy-duty Dyneema stitched in for reinforcements as well. So if you're going to use this with trekking poles, for example, you can put the trekking pole up into there and not have to worry about punching a hole in your tarp. So you can stake the doors out as I had it earlier. You can stake one side out or both sides, and it also has toggles so you can roll the material away and have the side open if you prefer. So not only do you get this reflective guy line, but you also get the tensioners as well, so that you can easily tension these once you stake them out. So if you have heavy winds and you want to guy out the shelter, there are sewn on tabs here, which is nice. Or if you just want a little bit more wall space on the inside, you can pull these centers out. Lots of guy out points, 3 on either side, and then of course you have 2 on the ridge line. Here's your stove jack, really nice stove jack. You have the flap that Velcros down, or it can roll up with the toggle, and then you feed your pipe right through. No wide angle lens, but plenty of room in here. You've got, obviously not standing height, but you can kneel in here. You could definitely put some pads down in here, sleeping bags, and then you got your wood stove all the way at the end. So I like that a bit better than a teepee where it's in the center, but really sturdy. Looking forward to testing out this Nyko stove, new stove for me. Gonna do the first burn in on that fairly soon, but then you got the vestibule on the other side, so you can keep your wood all off behind the stove there and save all the room in the middle for your living space. So now you can really see the versatility of it. I have it in porch mode, so I have the 2 ends held up with trekking poles and tied out, and then I have the inner strapped in, which essentially makes it a tent. So it's got the mesh all the way up, bathtub floor, and that is actually seam sealed or seam taped on the bottom of that. So you're going to stay nice and waterproof, and you're going to stay nice and bug free. The optional inner tent also has zips on both sides, so you can enter or exit from either way. And you can also tie out the vestibules on the sides to just give you a little bit of extra protection from the elements. whole thing packs down to this size, including the stakes and guy lines. So it's a pretty awesome shelter for sure. Definitely multi-purpose. That's what I like about it. If you choose the optional inner, that's what this packs down. This does include stakes as well. Makes it awesome for those buggy months. And just the ways that you can configure it is awesome. So you can configure it like a hot tent shelter. You can bunker it all down and be nice and toasty in there. And then of course you can set it up in any way as a tarp with the 2 side flaps. You can put that in many different configurations, and then finally you can use the inner and make it a tent. So super awesome stuff from Nortent. I love all their stuff. Really no cons to say about it other than you do have to seam seal those seams, so across the ridge line and then in the center seam there. Just want to wipe some of that on. I'll do that when the temperature warms up just a little bit. But other than that, with these 2 things, you've got an awesome shelter. Definitely would sleep 2 people comfortably, even with the wood stove off to the edge. I want to know what you guys think though, so leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you like best about this system from Nortent. Of course, there'll be links below where you guys can find this. You can actually get this from a dealer here in Michigan, Ben's Backwoods. I believe he stocks these. I'll put a link below to him as well. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today and give it a big thumbs up for me. Again, leave me that comment in the comment section below. Feel free to share this to any outdoorsman or camper or hiker that you think might find this useful. And as always, click that red subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified of new videos.